Hello and welcome to another episode of the Runes of Aereal devlog. So what have I been up to lately? Well, the first thing is I've been doing a lot of playtesting, and there's a lot of bugs coming out of that. That's of course due to adding more and more features that go and interfere with one another. So that's a lot of bug fixes there, and I've also done some tweaking of the difficulty. And let me just go in here to the configuration. And in the configuration, if you remember, we had this extra damage modifiers, and upper bound, lower bound, and experience dividers. So I've been tweaking that a bit because I was seeing that the medium was a bit too easy. So I modified easy, but as I play tested with other characters, I saw that some traits made it easier. So it's not that easy to make adjustments to that. So I've been fooling around with that, and also to make it more easy to play the game. I have adjusted the probability tables, for example, so that I think it's rune or rune multiple. Let's say here I've added 2 to this rune here and 1 to this one. So I've doubled the chance of becoming a rune, of having a rune in a map. So it becomes easier to win the game. So tweaking a lot of stuff here. Also, what I've been doing is I've implemented 2 extra traits. So let me show that to you now. Implementing 2 traits. I'm going to abandon this journey and make an easy.
Achilles was a prodigy child,
So
left on the doorsteps of the Kashan monastery where he was taught
I've
the
implemented the healthy
Tane is the
trait.
rogue
You
wizard.
can see here the healthy trait. And let me start with the healthy trait here, and you'll see that my maximum health will have been increased by 5. So let me just no, it's always going to be crafting. That's another thing that's new. Asgonia, it's a new map. So I've made a new map. It's called Asgonia. Before it used to be Astilon. And you see that I also have 6 different cities here: Wistum, Alamtown, Flameless, Gorn, Flamebark, Clawbark, and Mestat. So let me just go back into the probability tables because I've been fooling around also with crafting. And maybe I'll show that first. Sorry about the messy. I didn't really make any preparations for this video, so it's a bit messy. My apologies. So let me just go in here and go into crafting. I've adjusted the probability tables to go to make always go into crafting, because I also changed something here, and you'll see what I changed. So the first thing is that I can now scroll in the items. See, before I wasn't able to do that, and I just saw the first 16 items here. And also when you have more than 1 item in your inventory of something, it used to just appear as 1. And now I've adjusted the code a bit, so it gives me a really lot of loot, a really lot of items here when starting the game, just so I can debug this item. So here you see I have 21 empty scrolls, and before I had 1, let's say, and now we can just see that there are 21 empty scrolls. So I haven't really expanded this further yet, but that's one thing I did. So in order to get this up and running more quickly, I've added these things. It's really nice. So that's the first thing I did. And now back to thing before here. So here I go to the mission type map, and then I've set crafting to 10,000. So I'll set it back not to 0, because crafting normally is only in cities. So let me just do that again and start a new journey. And I'll choose the healthy.
Achilles was a prodigy child. Tane is the rogue.
So Tane has the healthy trait. And let's see what that gives. Let's go in here, hope for a battle. No, it's a bloody gift. Go in here, and here we have a battle. And there we are. Took a little time. And you'll see here the top, the maximum health is 55. So I start with 50, just like always, but my maximum health is 55, and that's the healthy trait. So what I've also got is the minimalist trait. So you'll see that normally, let's continue the journey. Let's see here, if I go and manage the cards, you'll see that I have 23 cards of maximum of 24, but the minimalist trait allows me to have only 16. So there are many ways to play such a card game. A lot of times the best tactic is to have lesser cards on your hand, so more powerful but less cards, so they come back more easily. And now there is a minimum of 20. So with the minimalist trait, you can go up to as low as 16. So let me just mimic that now by abandoning the journey again and choosing a new character with the minimalist. Elfrin has the minimalist trait. And then you'll see if I go and manage the cards that the minimum becomes 16. So I can just get cards out of there. And now we've got 16, and now it says, okay, the minimum of cards have been reached. So this is the minimalist trait. Cool. Now let's go back to the sandbox because I've added something else. Let's go for a random deck and some random 2, and let's add a scroll. And the scroll I've added is the out of sight scroll. This one, and let's go with John and start. And the out of sight scroll is the implementation of the invisibility, whereas that in previously there was only a card getting you invisible. Now we also have a scroll become invisible for 1 turn, and then we have it, we become invisible. So that's the out of sight scroll here. And I've also added the Book of the Blind, which is a new spell book, which will craft the out of sight scroll. So for the rest, that's the main things. I've added something experimental, let's say. It's V progressive. So this is here a state value. State value, if you remember from previous devlogs, I have the most, all of the variables that are important during the gameplay and need to be saved along with the game. They are in the dictionary, and they are all called value states. And I've added a value state that is being saved along with the gameplay called SV progressive difficulty factor. And what I do actually is if I see that the game is too easy, I'm going to add some more difficulty along the way. And the way I'm detecting if it's too easy, if the number of turns, if I can finish the battle in 1 turn, it's far too easy. That means that I have much too powerful cards, or I have traits that make it too powerful, or some special abilities, the artifacts that make it too easy. And in order to circumvent that, I'm going to apply this progressive difficulty factor. And by doing that, you'll see it's like a factor. You see, if the turn is less than 2, then I'm going to add 0.05. So 5% more difficulty. That's the way you need to read this. And here I'm applying it to determine the enemy health, so how hard it is to kill the enemy. And here I'm going to multiply that, all of the result it was before, depending on the difficulty level. And you have the health multipliers you can install in the configuration file. And here I just multiply by that factor. So standard, it is 1, so we can multiply by 1, it's going to be exactly the same. But if along the way the user plays the game and it finishes the game in 1 turn, it'll add 5% extra to this health. Actually, that's what's going to happen. It's an experimental thing to make things a little bit more interesting, to see how far we get and how far we can get into the game with the easy mode, the difficult mode, or the hard mode, the medium mode and the hard mode. So that's basically it. I hope you like it so far. As always, please like, please subscribe, and see you next time.